and welcome to A Cup of Spirituality. We are so glad that you are here. Now, this is a space where spirituality feels like a cozy chat over a cuppa with friends. So each month we explore topics that you've been asking for about, from grounding and connecting with angels to understanding chakras, crystals, and so much more. And we'd love for you to say hello in the comments, like this video, share it with anyone who'd enjoy it, subscribe free if you're watching this on YouTube, and let us know your thoughts or questions. You know, this show is all about you, your curiosity, your journey, and your growth. And of course, if you don't get your question in this episode, don't worry. It may become a topic of a future show. We are here to create a community of learning, connection, and exploration. Most importantly, this is a safe, judgment-free space where everyone is welcome to share and grow. So, Sally.
Yeah, so what Ray and I are really excited about is building a community. We want to build a space where people can learn from each other and connect with like-minded souls. Whether you're brand new to spirituality or you've been on your path for a while, there's always something new to explore. And I just want to say, because we're talking about building a community, Ray and I were so busy chatting, we almost missed 7:30, which is the start of the show. So we very much are building our community, our little community of two at the moment. So that's why I keep chuckling, saying, oh my gosh, we almost missed it. But anyway, so settle in with your favourite cuppa. And I think we're going to dive into today's topic, which is about what happens when you die, which I know is quite a tricky subject, but it is one that somebody wrote in, a few people actually have written in to answer. And it's also about how do you contact a loved one and how do you know that they're around? But Ray, did you want to tell us a little bit about you? Because people might not know you.
Yeah, certainly. So my name's Ray and I'm a spiritual guide and healer, passionate about helping you connect with your divine presence and step into your purpose. Now, through angelic Reiki, guide meditations and exploring past and future lives, I support others in healing their past and creating a soul-aligned future. Now, my journey has taught me that with the right tools and guidance, we can all connect to our higher selves, embrace transformation and live a life of abundance and fulfillment. And I'm here to hold space for you as we explore spirituality together in this safe and supportive community. And for those that don't know Sally.
Yep. Well, I'm a psychic, and my thing in life is I'm just passionate about empowering women. So to this end, I'm a trauma-informed women's embodiment coach. And the idea is that trauma is stored in the body, and there are somatic practices to do with the body and body scan meditations and different healings you can do to help release that trauma from the body. I also channel Mary Magdalene and facilitate and host women's circles. And what they're about is about giving women the tools to empower themselves and to manifest in all areas of their life. I also teach meditation groups and give psychic readings and womb healings with Mary Magdalene, which is done on a psychic level. But before we actually get back into this, I really want to say I'd like to say something about Ray, because Ray just said in her little intro about how she helps others heal their past and is always about wanting helping people live a life of abundance. But Ray is the most generous soul, one of the most generous souls I've come across. No, people need to know this, Ray, that before these shows start, you're sitting there giving me your wisdom, giving me your knowledge, telling me the technical stuff about what I need to do with this and what I need to do about that. And you're so generous. And I think people need to know just how wonderful you are, that you're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk. And you're one of the most sincere and empowering people I've met on this journey, and I think people need to know. So sorry if that's going to make you choke.
I'm blushing here.
I want everyone to know who's watching this. I think it's important that they know how amazing you are.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. You know, you're just as amazing yourself. You come up with all this information as well. So
we're a good team.
We are indeed. Practical and a little bit further out, more grounded and a little bit higher.
Oh dear. So yes, our topic today is what happens when you die. And I know this is a sad topic for some people, and it's also a bit of a taboo subject. But Ray and I are hoping to walk you through this in quite a delicate and sensitive way. And what's interesting is that we both work with people who've passed over or do things connected to what happens when you passed over, but we've both got a slightly different take on it, but they do marry into each other. So you're right if I talk first, Ray, about it?
Absolutely.
So in my experience, this is what happens when you die. I'm not saying that I've died, but I have helped quite a few times with soul rescue. A couple of times it's been in a sort of a spiritual circle. And then other times I've actually been called upon by my guides to help people who are stuck. So it's something I've done a little bit of. So when people first pass over, the first thing is that when you see their body going through stuff and you're thinking they're in pain and they're dying in pain, their body is already, their soul is already hovering above their body. They are looking down on their body going through that. So the body's just going through the process, but they themselves are not feeling the pain. And this is what people who've passed over have told me. Then they move towards the light, and oftentimes they will stay in that area for a bit, and oftentimes until their funeral and their wake's taken place. Then they tend to move fully into what I call heaven, but other people may call something different. Then if they've passed over suddenly, or they've been ill, or there's other traumas, there's a place of healing. They show it to me as like healing pods with white light coming through. Then they go to something that I call Costa Heaven. It's heaven isn't sponsored by Costa, don't worry. But it's so whatever vibration you're on this plane is what you're going to go into in heaven when you pass over. So for some people, if your favorite thing was going to Costa and meeting with your friends, that's what you'll do. If your favorite thing was going out with your horse and horse riding, then that's what you do. You create your own heaven. If you want to catch up with aunties and uncles and parents and grandparents who've passed over, you have the opportunity to do that. And then there's people who are working at a higher vibration on earth, say people who meditate a lot, who connect with the ascended masters or the angels. They, once they've caught up with their friends, they will go and work at that higher level, but they can always come back down to Costa level to catch up with their friends and family. And then the other thing that's linked with this is I get people quite a lot coming through asking, is there a hell? The answer is no, there isn't a hell, but people create their own hell. So the reason I get asked to do soul rescue is, well, often it's people who are trapped because they have looked back on their life and they've realized they've made, some mistakes, and they don't think they're worthy of heaven, and they refuse to let themselves go to the light. So for me, I see it like a barren wasteland with people who have just got their heads in their hands, and they're trapped in their own version of hell. So that's why Spirit get people like me to come along to hold their hands and guide them towards the light, where they will receive the help that they need. So hell isn't a place that's created for people to go to. People create their own, and everybody gets the opportunity to heal and develop and just be held with love. So I do hope that helps somebody watching this, because in my experience that's how it goes. Did you want to talk a little bit about what happens when you die? Or
Yeah, I come at it from a different angle, in that mine really is when people are still living to heal past lives where they've died. So I come from that background with it, And what I found, when I take people back into past lives, it's normally a past life to experience what they need to know in their current life, what's been affecting them in their current life. And I take people through that experience to the point of death, and I actually take them through death, so people actually get to experience death without literally dying. But what I found from all the different people that I've worked with, all the different clients, is that they go towards the light. You know, the light comes down and they go towards the light, and then they get a chance to actually have a life review and look back on that life that they've just left. You know, what did they learn from it? What didn't they learn from it? You know, are there things that need healing for them to move on to the next level, to the next dimension, whatever that may be. And then we spend time doing the healing, and then it could be that they go and then they're with ascended masters, angels, or with family or friends, but they've moved on to that point where it's an in between. So it's, you know, there's some might call it heaven, some might call it nirvana, some might, well, whatever name you want to call it. I always see it as going into the light, and it's that space of actual being. So, you know, that's how I've seen it. And when I work with angelic Reiki, when I teach angelic Reiki, when we get to 3 and 4, I actually take my students to death. I literally take them through a guided meditation to give them the experience of actually dying, so that when they're actually prepared and they know what it feels like, if something happened, you know, unexpected, they're not going to have that. It's like, oh, okay, so this is how this is, you know, so this is how it is. And then obviously I bring them back because I think, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, Sally, from you know, helping those souls that have already gone over, is that initial fear of death.
Yeah.
We have such a big fear of dying, but dying is just just a rebirth, a chance of starting something new, which is, you know, something like the spring equinox, which we're in now. So blessings, spring equinox, Eostre, to everyone who's watching. You know, it's about a new start, a rebirth of something new. You know, it's an adventure to go on. But then that's, you know, again, that's my personal view of it, you know, and how my clients have seen it and my students see it. But it is unique to every single individual. But it is the case of just trying not to be frightened of death, because it's just another chance, another journey.
That's beautiful. First of all, it's beautiful that you give people the opportunity to experience, you know, what it's like to die, and then bring them back so that fear isn't there. Because I think you're right that a lot of people who pass over, who hang around, it's because they are scared of what's to come. And your ancestral healing that you're talking about sounds deeply powerful. I think I'd like to book a session, if that's all right.
Yeah, certainly.
Because I do ancestral healing myself in a different way for others, but I can't really do it for myself. So I'd really love to go to you for that. And it does sound like you really understand it, and you're going to do it in a really supportive way, where we feel held. And that sounds a beautiful but also empowering experience. So that is something I would like to do. So I'll message you.
I will send you the details.
Yes, please, lovely. That would be great. Another question people asked is about how do you contact loved ones who've passed over? So when loved ones, I should say that I mainly do psychic readings, but I have trained in mediumship, because people who've passed over do come through sometimes. And I think if they've taken the energy to come through, it's really rude if I don't try.
Totally.
So I have learned to do it, but it isn't my main bag. But I can communicate, and particularly if they're good communicators, then they help me along. So oftentimes people do ask that in readings, how can I communicate with my loved one who's passed over? one of the ways that I get through from people is that if you have a photo of them, like on a table, the person who's passed over on a table or the mantelpiece, if you light a candle in front of the photo, that shows them that you're missing them and you'd really like to communicate, and then they will come. The other way is just to speak out loud. Just say how you're feeling. Don't just hold the image of the person in your head and visualize them and speak, and they will hear you, and they will answer, and they will either answer in the form of you can hear it, or a knowing, or they'll send you a sign, sometimes like feathers or pennies on the floor, or a robin. A robin's a good one. Robins often show. And the other thing you can do, which is more powerful than the other two things, is hold something of theirs that they wore a lot, that's got their energy in it, like a ring or a watch or a crystal that they always kept in their pocket, something along those lines, because that will hold their energy. And when you hold it, you'll feel their energy, and it almost sends out this little telepathic link, this energetic link to the person who's passed over, and then you can communicate with them that way. And people who've passed over, if they're quite keen to get your attention, they'll come through in your dreams. And you will know it, because it's not like your usual like lucid dreams. I don't know, like where your teeth fall out or you're being chased by a bear or whatever.
Down the street naked. Or is that just me?
For me, my mind's awful. I was dreaming that I'm walking between two tanks of killer whales, and the killer whales are trying to get me. It's awful. That loads. Anyway, maybe that's something we ought to do. We ought to do a show on dreams and their meanings.
Yes.
And why we dream like that. I think that'd be an important one for people to know. But anyway, if they come through in your dream, it's because, and it's not some weird thing like I just talked about, it's them trying to communicate with you. And when you're half awake and half asleep, that lucid dreaming stage, that's when you can communicate most easily. So, I mean, I'm sure my husband won't mind me mentioning, but there was a time when he got the dream of him waiting at a train station, and then he was able to see his mother, who passed over, waiting next to him for the train, which is beautiful. Mine haven't been so positive. Mine were with my mum, who we didn't really get on, and she wasn't a particularly wonderful person. And I used to feel her just trying to push into my dreams, and I'd have to wake up and push her away and tell her that I'll come and speak to her when I'm ready, which I haven't been yet. But dreams are really an important way of them communicating. And the thing is if you can, keep a notebook by your bed, so that when you wake up in the morning, before you do anything, write it down. Because once you start on your day, the chances are you're going to forget that, and you're going to forget that wonderful connection that you had when you were asleep with your loved one. Is there anything you want to add, Ray, about contacting a loved one?
Yeah, I will do. And for those that are watching, whether you're watching this live or the replay, if you've got any questions, then please do ask. Even if you're not watching live, Sally and I will circle back to this. But I can see that we do have some people live, so please do say hello. Let us know you're here, so we know who you are. But yeah, mine is kind of like signs. So my dad passed away when I was 20, so 30 plus years ago now. But I know when he's around, because there's a particular song that will come on, and it's not an up-to-date song or anything like that, but there's a particular song that will come on, and it'll be like, that's my dad come through. Okay, what am I supposed to know now? But another beautiful one was a few years ago, my second cousin passed away. She was only about 10 years old. So you can imagine that the funeral was just, but as she was being lowered into the ground, there was this butterfly that just kept flying around. It was a particular coloured butterfly, and it just kept flying around, and it literally landed near where we were. And then afterwards, we went to obviously have the celebration afterwards. And literally, as I've walked into the hall, so this isn't near the cemetery, you know, you've had to driven there, that same coloured butterfly was actually in the hall itself. And it was like, wow, you know, she's come to see, you know, the celebration of her life and everything like that. You know, the chances of those the same coloured butterflies, one being at the cemetery and one actually already being in the building, you know, that's yeah, that was just amazing. So it's always been open to look out for the signs that, you know, that might come around. So it might be a song, it might be a butterfly, it might be a robin, but you know, there's also other ways. You know, I can take people into a future lifetime to meet a departed loved one, so you actually get the chance to meet your departed loved one in a future lifetime. So you know, that can, if you want to communicate with them, that can be done as well. But you know, it's just know that they're always around and that you can call on them when you want them, and you don't need to have special skills or abilities to actually to actually do it. You know, I'm not a medium. I don't see dead people. You know, I don't see spirits or you know, or communicate with them, but I can take other people, like in a future lifetime, or I'm aware of stuff going on, or like just in meditation. Oh, we lost Sally, so just wait for her to come back. We knew this was going to happen. We are in the retrogrades at the moment, so technology is a little bit up in the air. So there we go. Sally's back again. So where was I going with that convo?
You were talking about oh goodness,
going with that
about
done. Who knows?
I've lost it.
Yeah,
well. I was so panicking that I could still hear you. But I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh yes, I know what it was. Meditation. And when my sister was getting married, I actually sat down in meditation and just said, Dad, have you got any message? Because I was doing a speech. Dad, have you got anything you want to say to my sister when she gets married? And I just sat there and I just wrote whatever came into my head. And yeah, that was quite. It brought tears to everyone at the wedding. Wasn't meant to, but hey, that's what it that's what it did. And hi, Kim. Seeing in the future. Yeah, meeting a departed loved one in the future, in a future lifetime, is absolutely amazing. And yeah, you get to say what you couldn't say to them, you know, in the past. So I think we've covered that on connecting, haven't we? I think.
Yeah, and the other question I had then was, well, people wrote in, was about how do you know loved ones are around you? So the main one that's happened to me is the shift in the electrical energy. So when my mum was trying to get through to me, I went to this cafe and the lights were switching on and off. And I thought, oh, that's my mum, but it might just be the light in the cafe's glitchy. Then I went to my friend's house and it was for Christmas Day. We went there for Christmas dinner and the light above me was flickering on and off. And then, you know, going to the supermarket, the lights were flickering. And that after that is when she tried the dreams. And I just had to say, look, you know, I'll communicate with you when I'm ready. So lights flickering. Obviously, if it's just a one-off in your house, it might just be a glitch. So just see if it happens again and say, oh, you could say, oh, if it's you, Dad, or whatever, can you try that again so I know for sure? And that they will do that for you. And also you can sense them. Oftentimes people who pass over, it's when you can sense them when you're doing something where your mind's a bit more open, like driving. is a classic one. You can sometimes feel them sitting on the passenger seat next to you when you're walking your dog. Animals will often come round, animals that have passed over. If you're walking your dog and you had a dog before, oftentimes you'll get that, and a dog will come through. And I'm trying to think of what else I've had. I've had horses come through in readings before. Yeah, somebody passed over and their horse came through.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a good one. And chickens. I've had chickens come through. But those are the only, and dogs, obviously, and cats, but no others. And then I think you've covered the other ones. We talked about how they're coming into your dreams, seeing a robin, and you're saying about favourite songs coming on the radio as well. That's a classic for knowing your loved ones around you.
Yeah, and you just reminded me about animals as well. When my cat Gypsy passed away, just after she had passed away, or I'd been with her when she had to be put down, and that night, literally, I felt my bed go down where she was, and for a few days afterwards, I've got wooden flooring, and I could literally hear little footsteps. Yeah, which was really really sweet and comforting, at the time, so that was absolutely beautiful. With that, and just one thing as we were saying, it's an adventure, and in fact, anyone who's watching, have you had experiences with departed loved ones, whether that's animals or family or friends? If you're happy to share, please do let us know in the comments what experiences you had, because it may be that an experience you had might trigger someone else to go, oh, actually, that when that happened to me, so that must have been because this, as we're saying, we are trying to create this community, and it's all about even those of you watching, supporting and giving each other ideas and inspiration about your journey as well.
I've had it once when I was a student and I was renting a room in somebody's house, and I was in bed, and the carpet was quite a high pile in the room. So when you opened the door, you could hear the door brush on the carpet. And I was in bed and I heard the door brush on the carpet. And then I looked up and there was a woman with a shawl around her head. And this is a big old Victorian house. Come over to me in the bed and like tuck me in around my bed. And I was so frightened that I kept my eyes shut. And then I heard her footsteps on the carpet and the door shutting, and she went.
Oh, wow.
And it was one of my big ones. And what was my other one? It's just there was somewhere I used to work, and I'm pretty sure that it was built on countryside where people had lived, like in before they had houses or things, like in little cabins made of tins, that corrugated iron and that kind of thing. And if I was there late and everyone else had gone from school, because I used to be a teacher, I used to see shadow people just walking across the window. Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm sure that was what that was. And there's another one, but I can't remember it quite now. I've had a few with people who've passed over. I know that when my mum was young, her brother died, and at night, the night after he died, he had calipers because he had something wrong with his legs, and she could hear his calipers dragging along the floor outside on the landing. So it does happen. Oh yeah, and my mum, when my stepdad died, he used to hate her smoking, and she was a chain smoker, and she used to have an ashtray outside the toilet. So she used to have a spag, and she'd leave a cigarette burning outside the toilet in an ashtray. And the morning after her husband died, she went into the toilet, came out, and the cigarette had been stubbed out.
I mean, you can't beat that, can you? It's like,
No.
you know, our departed loved ones, you know, they're still, you know, keeping an eye on us
They are.
on this side to you know, so we're not causing too much mayhem and mystery. And of course, you know, we're talking about you know, we're talking about death and dying, but death and dying doesn't necessarily mean to be, you know, loved ones going. It could be the death of a job. It could be the ending of something, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that can feel like you know, a death is a physical death, you know, where you're mourning the loss of something that's coming into your life. So, you know, just be aware that when we talk about death and dying, sometimes it doesn't need to be physically. It could be something like, you know, a friendship, a job, and, you know, anything like that.
Yeah. So as some of you know, I've got children with special needs. And what I found was a big grieving process for me was grieving for the child I thought I'd have. And it was like a death. It was like, and there's a poem called Welcome to Holland. And it's like you spend your pregnancy thinking you're going to go to America, and you plan for it, and you know what, you know, you worked out what food you're going to buy, you've worked out where you're going to go, and then you give birth, and actually you're in Holland, and it's a place you don't know the language, you don't know the food, you don't know, and that is what it's like. And then you go through that grieving process of grieving for the child that you'd prepared for, and what you've got is a different a different way of life that you've got to get used to, one of hospital appointments, one of special equipment, special food, special physio, the way people treat you. I lost quite a few friendships when I had my boys, people who don't know what to say, who don't it's almost, it's like disabilities catching. Oh no, I don't, you know, they don't know what to say, and that's something, having a disabled child's what happens to somebody else, so it's not in their realm of experience, and they don't want to engage. So I don't know if anyone is going through that, but just know that it does get easier. You find a new tribe, a better, shinier tribe, and you find your support network, and you'll find that going to Holland rather than Florida or whatever is still amazing, and it is still a wonderful journey in itself. But as we're talking about rebirth, that is the rebirth, that is the take home, that when you have big things like this, you come back from it, you come back stronger, and with in a way a greater joy and zest for life, because you've seen, in a way, the worst that you feel could have ever happened, and you've come back from it, and life, it is you appreciate life in a different way. That's what I would say.
Yeah, no, beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. And of course, you know, you can call on you know, spiritual teams. You know, one of the archangels you can call on is Archangel Azrael, who is actually the angel of comfort, transitions, and letting go. And I mean, Archangel Azrael is often called the angel of death. But his role is really to provide comfort, peace, and support during times of transition. You know, he lovingly helps support souls cross over. He helps guide them with gentleness so they don't feel alone. But his presence isn't just there for those that are passing, it's also there for people left behind. You know, Azrael brings deep emotional support to those grieving. You know, he wraps them in love and helping them to find peace. And of course, as we were just saying, loss isn't just about death, you know, and Archangel Azrael can also help when we experience endings in other areas of life. whether that's the loss of the job, the end of a relationship, a big life change, that leaves us feeling unsettled. That happened to me a couple of years ago. I had the rug pulled out from under my feet, and the archangels were really there helping support me, along with all the lovely people around me who gave me support at the time, and Sally was actually one of them as well. So when something ends, it can feel like a part of us is lost too. So Archangel Azrael helps us to navigate these changes with grace, supporting us as we process emotions, let go of what was, and find the strength to move forward. So if you are, struggling with grief, heartbreak, or uncertainty or change, just call on Archangel Azrael for comfort. His presence is gentle yet powerful. It brings a deep sense of reassurance that even in endings, there is always a promise of new beginnings. And you'll know he's there with the energy. You feel that comforting energy all around you. And it may be that you'll see creamy white or light vanilla hues, which symbolize gentle and comforting presence during our time of transition, whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, in life. So a brilliant archangel to call on if you are experiencing grief or loss. So have you got anything you want to share about that, Sally?
I just want to say how beautiful that is, and that's something I would have liked to have known many years ago when I went through some of the big challenges that I've had. And I hadn't really realised that there was an archangel specifically to give us comfort in that. I should have assumed that there was, really, but that is just so beautiful that in the depths of despair, there's an angel there whose sole purpose it is to help us through. And I didn't fully understand, I guess, when you were talking about vanilla colours, things, I'm guessing that other angels have other colours, and that when you see that, and I hadn't even realised that. Because I went through a stage of smelling vanilla, and now I'm wondering, when things are really bad, I used to smell vanilla, and now I'm wondering whether
that was Archangel Azrael.
Yeah, maybe. So this is adding a whole new layer or dimension to what I knew. That's the thing about this podcast. We're finding out stuff all the time. Well, I'm finding out stuff all the time.
So am I.
And yeah, that's just so beautiful. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Angels are there all the time. And even if you can't remember this Archangel Azrael, just call on the archangels, or even your own guardian angels, just to come and give you that support, that comfort. Let them wrap their wings, their energy around you, in that comfort. And you can even sort of like hug yourself as well.
Yeah.
And that I find that's quite reassuring as well. Just hugging yourself.
And that really is. That is so beautiful. That is really lovely. Thank you.
You are welcome. So has anyone got any questions? Oh, they're very shy this week, it looks like, Sally.
Yeah, it does. I feel bad that we've just done all the talking this time. Normally,
I know. Normally we get at least a couple of people that ask us questions, but obviously not tonight. So have we covered everything we think?
I think so. We've covered everything that we had planned, but even more.
Yeah.
It's got to be a very from what's quite not a narrow but a specific thing. It ended up being very broad, and I think we've covered a lot. Did you want me to just do a little bit of the updates, the energetic updates?
Yeah. Tune into the energies of the month to see what guidance we're being offered.
Okay, so we've just gone from the nurturing, going into the darkness and cocooning and allowing ourselves the rest of winter. going home and putting your onesie on at 4 o'clock and all of that, but which is gorgeous and it's really nourishing. And as we know that seeds and bulbs and things need the darkness and the cold to be able to grow. And now we're moving out of that nicely into the energies of spring. And obviously, there's baby birds and spring flowers. On the dog walk today, there was, I noticed a dove's egg. So obviously a bird will be hatching, which is just gorgeous. And these energies of spring, obviously, you know this, that they're full of promise. But the energies are really buoyant. And I want to say kick ass. So I'm just saying the word arse on a podcast here.
Yeah.
And I feel that kick-ass is the right thing, because with spring, first of all, we need to restore and replenish, go out in the sunshine, see the lambs, see the eggshells, see the baby birds, and then also really know what it is you want from this season. Really know and claim it. It's time to claim it. And that energy of spring is like, yeah, I'm ready. I've been through the darkness. I've got my stuff in order. This is, I'm replenishing myself. This is what I want. And then in all the meditations and readings I've had recently, there's been a leap of faith. You've got yourself sorted. You know what you want. You know who you are. You've made those declarations about, the I am energetic, I am a force of nature, I am confident, I'm a go-getter. And then you make that leap of faith. And once you just allow the universe or spirit or the angels to hold that for you, you can take that leap into the person that you're evolving into this spring. And that is the biggest take home, I think, from particularly from now coming up to Saturday in this period of the equinox and Ostara. That is the take home for energetically for these few weeks.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and it does feel like we're sort of like coming out of that cocoon at the moment, doesn't it? Where the it has got a little bit brighter.
Yes.
Out and everything seems so much brighter, but I still don't think it's warm enough for people to be walking about with no tops on and shorts. It's not that warm. Just saying, people.
No, put it away.
Exactly. We're not there. We're not there yet. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull a card and see what guidance we have got coming up for this coming month. And I'm actually going to use the Goddess Stream Oracle by Wendy Andrew.
I love these. I've got these. I love these.
And these are beautiful cards. And she's actually based down in Glastonbury. And I actually got these from, she actually sells her cards in the Goddess Temple.
Oh, okay.
In the Goddess shop down there. So, yeah. So let's just see what the angels, the universe, the cards want us to know for this coming month. What do we need to know for our highest good for this coming month? Oh, okay, we'll go with that one that's decided to come out. And before I do that, Emma says, beautiful, thank you.
Oh, thanks, Emma.
So works in perfectly, as they always do, with the energies that Sally was talking about, where we're coming into the spring equinox. Courage in the face of conflict. And would you believe that we've actually got the March hare?
Oh, yes. Oh, wow. And the sun coming through. Is that like something like Stonehenge or something coming through as well?
Yes.
And that just fits with the equinox as well.
I know. And you've got the three pairs there as well.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
Yeah. So what we're being told for this month is, let's have the courage, have the courage to step forward and be you, to bring your talents. There might be conflict going on around you. There might be world events going on that, there might be personal stuff going on. But what they're saying is, have courage to step forward, step out of that, step into your own truth, your own power, because you are strong beyond measure, and you can, you know, with this new energy that's coming in, you can move forward faster and stronger and
Yes.
braver than you think you could possibly be.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the energy of this season just really gives us the advantage, that push we needed. If we needed a push, you know, we've got it. We have got it at the moment, and it's just wonderful. And this energy is going to continue for the next couple of months as well, which is what I'm really loving. This is just the start. So if you're thinking about a new project, or a new job, or a new you, now is the time to start taking that leap, because you've got that added energy that's really going to help you.
Yeah.
Oh, Emma, that's brilliant.
And wow. So Emma, I was told this last week too. I need to be true to myself. Absolutely. Now, you know, now is the time for us to literally come out of that closet, to literally,
Yeah,
this is who I am. This is me. Well, as the song from The Great Showman goes, this
yeah,
is me.
yes,
Um,
yeah.
and we all are, which is, you know, the more of us that step into that, the better things are going to be for everyone around us. Because when we step into our own truth and other people step into their truth, there's no competitiveness, there's no conflict. There is just that we all gel because we're all on that space of being who we are truly meant to be.
And there has to be leaders, people who do it first, the pioneers. That's the word I couldn't think of earlier, isn't it? That you had to give me,
Yeah,
pioneers.
pioneers.
Yeah, there has to be the pioneers, and we're the pioneers. You guys are the pioneers. And when others see us taking our step forward and being who we're destined to be, our true selves, and stepping out, others will see, oh goodness, I want the confidence that they've got, and they will do it too. And that's raising the vibration of the earth, which, as we know, is going to help massively, particularly what's going on at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So if no one who's watching has got any more comments or any questions or anything, I would like to say thank you so much for joining us today for A Cup of Spirituality, which we've got our cups. I'm using a cup with a mug with a
Yeah,
handle on this week.
I want to show you mine's Cinderella.
Ah,
And I've got
beautiful.
spring nails for spring.
Oh,
Isn't
beautiful.
she?
Red colours.
Mm.
And Victoria says, exciting
Oh,
time,
Victoria.
new beginnings galore. I said last night, we are the pioneers. We
Yeah.
definitely, we
You need to
definitely are.
you need to interview Victoria. She's on
Ah,
my list.
oh,
She's on my list.
excellent.
Owns the most wonderful crystal shop in Westbourne called Such a Beautiful Day. And it's like an Aladdin's cave of crystals. It is beautiful.
Okay, yes.
It's
So,
amazing.
so Victoria, we'll have to get in touch, and maybe you can be a guest on my Angels and Destiny show and share your experience and your knowledge about crystals. Maybe that'll help other
Yeah,
people on their journey.
definitely.
So I hope everyone, well, we hope that you found something meaningful to take away from this episode. And remember, this is your community, and we would love to hear from you. You know, even if you're watching the replay, we will circle back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and don't forget to share your thoughts, like this video, and subscribe to our channels. You know, it is free. It doesn't cost you anything. So that you don't miss our next chat, but also you can share the information with you. And we will be back again on the 17th of April at 7:30 p.m.
Yeah, and don't be a stranger. Connect with us if you want, and if there's some way we can help you on your journey, let us know, because we know we'd love to help. And it is all about building this community and it's also about the sisterhood, and that's what we're trying to do here. So reach out if you need us.
Yep, absolutely. And Take care, everyone. Until next time, stay curious and keep sipping on that cup of spirituality. Cheers.